Welcome everybody to NAB Stadium in Auchenflower as the Brisbane Capitals host the Rockhampton Rockets in your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. I'm John Guarna. This afternoon I'm joined by special guest commentator, Gold Coast Rollers women's head coach Michael Van Dongen. I've also got Dave Derwin and Regan Baker for me. V-Dog, this is a really exciting matchup. Two teams really on the ascendancy. It should be an excellent matchup this afternoon.
Yeah, I haven't seen either team play much, so it'd be good for me to get a look and see what's going on in the men's league.
The women's game was a really good one. Dave, we've got an excellent matchup tonight. No Ray Willis for Rockhampton. That's a huge out for the Rockets. It'll be interesting to see how they adjust to life without Willis. They struggled with it last night, dropping a tough one to North Gold Coast.
Well, they did, and again, I think unless the Lopez's and the Mitchells and the Salos can step up, then they're going to do it tough this afternoon as well.
And one guy we haven't yet mentioned, Timmy Conrad. It's a nice add to the Capitals lineup, and they've really skyrocketed since the addition of Tim Conrad. You know Tim for a while now. You've been around him, V-Dog. What type of game does he have, and what's he bringing to the table for the Caps?
I think he's the perfect fit for the Caps. He's a face-up perimeter player. He's a great shooter, a good kid. Very team-oriented, so he fits the mould, and he's a good scorer. So he's really helped them the last few games.
Yeah, Conrad's been excellent, Dave. He had a huge game last night in that blowout win against Toowoomba.
He has been excellent. I think 58% on the three since he's come in the league. So he's killing it, averaging 32 and 8. Pretty confident those Spartan friends, which is his junior club, maybe a little dirty that he didn't return.
Yeah, maybe they didn't offer him a contract.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, Conrad's come in, and the Capitals really, there's no coincidence that they've now moved up into the 8th spot with the addition of Conrad. Those early season struggles for Brisbane seem to already be in the past. Rockhampton, though, that's a tough loss for them last night against North Gold Coast, 89-78, probably a game they expected to win.
Yeah, well, they just didn't have much production from anyone other than Bernard, and so today they just got to again do it by committee, and they're certainly capable of it. They got good guys. It'll just require them to be really disciplined on both ends of the floor, move the ball, and again, for me, the key to sort of beating this Brisbane team is beating them in either early trans or late clock, and that is moving the ball side to side and then getting some penetration and shifting that sort of packed paint that Coach Tarrant likes to roll out.
Dave, we were here last season. The last time we saw Rockhampton down here in Brisbane, they sprung the 8-1 upset in the finals. Bit of revenge on the mind for the Capitals players?
No, I don't think so. I think, they're both 3-2 the last 5, and Brisbane's trying to get their season back alive. And they're hanging in, I think, 8th at the moment. Nice pass from Conrad early. They're both, finding their feet in 7th and 8th. So they're both hanging around the mix. I mean, if I'm sitting in 1, 2, or 3, I don't think I'd want to play either of these guys in the 7 or 8. So, they're certainly a capable team.
And I spoke to Coach Tweedy before the game. Willis is out with a bit of a hip flexor. He did it in the game against the Spartans on Friday night. It was a good win for Rocky against Spartans. Just couldn't pull up and really move again yesterday. So he's out yesterday and then again today. It's a big out, but they take a 3-2 lead, and Bernard loves to get them shots up. He's going to love playing against the Caps this afternoon. And one guy that I also forgot to mention, Aaron Anderson, he seems to be getting back to full health as Jake Davis touches nothing but net. Caps up 2, but Anderson has been excellent as well in this resurgence of the Capitals.
Yeah, Aaron's been struggling with a few injuries. He starts to come back and then finds himself another injury, or he's a little sick with the flu. He looked really good last night, so wish him all the best for the rest of the season.
Well, he kind of hit some form the last time we were here. Who was that, Johnny? That was Phoenix? Yeah, Phoenix. So he kind of hit some straps in that last game. Rip, sorry,
Yep.
yeah.
Brandon Davis starts out hot for the Caps. He's got 5 of the 8 for Brisbane.
Yeah, and he's been really good since. And equally, Jack Davis, and a couple of times we've seen him this year, he's been a bit subpar. I know that he's shooting the ball well and doing his thing, but just the last couple of games we've seen him, it was a bit of a non-factor, so hopefully he can bounce back as well.
Conrad likes it. It's no good. Nice tip from Davis. It can't get it to fall, though. Really, Rockhampton playing without a traditional point guard. You're going to see the ball in the hands of James Mitchell, Malcolm Bernard. You'll even see Ben Wright playing a little point. It's a tough out. I mean, this team not necessarily was built around Ray Willis, but certainly relies on him to do so much for them, even though they have the talent like Mitchell and Bernard.
Yeah, and again, Lopez, he's certainly a capable guy that can go get you 20, 25 as well. So I just think it's, they need to get him involved offensively and really give him a green light as well, because Nasalo is going to do his thing, which is, again, facilitate, make the right decision every time. But he's Penny's always been a Swiss Army knife. He's never been a big scorer, but he can certainly facilitate.
Yeah, Carter hits a corner 3, and Carter also has been playing really well since Conrad has been added to the group. There's Nasalo inside, laying it in. Got to give a shout out to Dusty Reichard, also back in Auchenflower for the first time this season since the birth of his baby girl and his ACL surgery. Really good to see Dusty back in NAB Stadium. So it's a pretty frenetic pace here to start from both teams. Tough passes deflected. Anderson has it now for the Caps.
Well, Rockies, again, we haven't seen him this year, Johnny, live.
Carter hits the 3, and there's a foul inside against Benjamin Wright.
But,
so the bucket's going to count.
But they certainly miss a bit of the wide body they had last year, which certainly gave them a better post presence as well. And I think that's just looking at them the last few minutes is very perimeter orientated.
Davis gets a breather. That's Kopskis come back in.
They probably want to maybe guard him.
3 didn't fall, but there's a foul from behind.
I don't know if it used to be true as of a few weeks ago, but I'm pretty sure Jake's hit the most threes this season, or if he's not number 1, he's up there.
He's definitely up there. Still,
yeah.
He's been playing really well since Anderson's got a bit of health, and Conrad really has lifted the team. Just the professionalism that he has, as you see Malcolm Bernard drain his first 3 of the night. Well,
and I think equally, the integration of Brandon Davis has really helped them too. He's more comfortable. They run maybe a little bit freer this year offensively, I think, which is an absolute benefit to the playing group.
He's been inserted into that starting lineup, and as you say, definitely gives a secondary ball handler on the court as well. Nasalo guarding Jake Davis, gets a tip of it, and then Bernard comes up with the steal. Swiped out of bounds from behind by Kopskis. Good hustle play by Anthony Kopskis to slow down the Rockhampton transition.
Coach Tweedy just telling the referees how to referee.
Yeah, just reminding them they can make a call if they need to. He wants a few.
It's not Rocky. It's not Rocky, Tweedy.
Yeah, he's on the road. He ain't getting that hometown love today.
Deep 3 from Lopez is good.
There you go. And that's what they need more of today.
Well, they're going to have to rely on the 3-point shot tonight, because the Caps are going to get it up at a healthy clip as well. About 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Rocky up 2.
Well, they're 2 of the... Oh, a little rough.
He was definitely slipping over, but there was contact. Referees already issuing the bench warning. 4:45 into the game.
I think Tweedy got one just a minute or so ago as well.
It's Sunday.
So
It's Sunday. Everyone need, you know.
It's the religious day. Come on, boys.
That's
Calm
right.
down.
Yeah, a little rough on that foul, and the warning was probably a bit rough too. You know, 4 minutes in, hadn't been up yet.
Yeah, referees copping an earful from both coaches. So they're going to get right for the travel.
Yeah, I mean, these two are certainly gunslingers, Johnny. I think they're Brisbane's second in made and attempted threes, and Rocky's fourth. So, both two of the better shooting teams in the league, and the whole 7th and 8th position on the ladder isn't probably super reflective.
Yeah, the zone here from Rockhampton. Conrad beats it by himself to tie the game at 16. Bit casual defensively there from Rocky.
Well, yeah, I was going to say the zone isn't a good one. It's a bit of a lethargic. It's third game in 3 days zone, which is okay though, because against this shooting team, I think that's not a bad strategy. But they've got to guard someone. I mean, they've left Davis open 3 or 4 times top of the key, so they just got to improve their communication.
Connor Austin checks into the game for Rocky. Wright getting a breather. Nasalo, former championship winning Penny Nasalo, tosses it in the backcourt. Kopskis gets it, hands it in over to Collar, who can't finish, but he's fouled. Nelson Collar checking in to the game.
Yeah,
he's going to go to the line for a couple.
I'm just trying to think. V, what do you reckon? Is Penny, he'd have three championships? He's got one with the Pirates, one with the Rocky. Maybe
Did
two with
he
Rocky?
win one with Spartans as well?
He might have won with Spartans.
He might have won 1 or 2 with Spartans.
No,
Maybe
absolutely.
4.
Known Penny since he was a wee little fella.
Showing your age, Dave.
I am actually. I thought about it today because we played in the first Pirates team in 02. And Penny's showing his age, still running around. Good on him.
He's getting plenty of burn as well, especially with the injury to Willis. So he's getting extended minutes here with Ray Willis on the injury report.
We're talking about non-extended minutes. Nelson Carler at the line. He's not getting extended minutes currently since Conrad's come to the party. I think he only had 4 minutes the other night.
I think he's been injured,
Does
Dave.
he?
He's struggling with a bit of a knee injury, a bit of tendonitis, I think, in his patella.
Yeah, I did wonder what the 4 minutes was about.
Yeah, you see he's got the brace on the knee there, so struggling through a bit of knee drama at the moment.
I would have thought you'd just sit him, and heal it, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
Good inbounds pass there. Lopez gets the 2. Kopskis looking to answer in the other corner, misses, and Lopez comes down with it.
Tough situation for them because equally they need to, they got to win. So to get, they're sitting in 8th.
Yeah, they got themselves in a tough spot. They've fought their way back into 8th. I think a lot of it is certainly their play and some teams above them struggling a little bit at the moment as well. It's going to be an interesting run home. We see Gold Coast Rollers got a good win in the men's competition last night. Starting to find a little bit of form. It's taken them a while to get there, but they're a real danger team as well.
Yeah, adding Reese.
Yeah, I was going to say
massive signing for Mick.
Flip a coin because, they beat this Rock. They put 130 on this Rocky group 3 weeks ago. And then who they dropped to?
Mackay by 4 the next night.
No, they had a worse one. Did the Seahawks?
Toowoomba smacked them in Toowoomba.
And Seahawks.
And Seahawks,
yeah.
So they're, you never know what you're going to get. But, that's probably I would argue, the deepest roster in the league.
Yeah, well, you look at these teams now, and you add a player like Conrad to this group. It just adds to the depth of Brisbane and Rockhampton. They're using their bench because they're forced to, but they really only play 6-7 deep. Yeah, you get a couple guys in foul trouble, and it's going to be tough for Rocky. They don't have the depth that they're used to. Corrigan baseline jump shot is nice. The kind of team's just trading buckets at the moment. It's a 2-point lead for Rocky.
Yeah, early on, Bernard's been really unselfish, which is terrific. But I think he needs to be a bit more aggressive offensively.
And he gets called for the reach-in foul. That's his second personal foul. It's a bit
couple of harsh runs early here in the first quarter.
Bit soft on that one. He kind of reached in because just wanted to make a little noise. He's going to stay on the court with 2, and you see the zone. Miscommunication, Kopskis and Lamb. Brandon Davis going to check back in. Aaron Anderson getting a breather. Bernard is a player that a few NBL clubs have been having a look at apparently. Certainly a capable scorer. I think they'd like to see him probably handle the ball a little bit more and see what he could do defensively to see where he's at from an NBL perspective. But certainly he can put the ball in the basket.
Well, I mean, you know, when you, and again, I like to see if guys can compete both ends of the floor. His 29, 6 and 3 is pretty handy. So it'd be nice to see what kind of a defender he is.
Has it stripped by Davis. Brandon Davis with the strip there, so Rockhampton will maintain possession. The baseline.
What would he looks like? 6'3"-ish?
6'4", 6'5"-ish I'd give him. Certainly probably like a more of a 2 guard than a 1. Comes from a really from a high major program. I think he played at Xavier, which is in the Big East, so very, very, very capable of playing there.
Oh.
If he's given the opportunity, as Lopez fouled. That's the 15th foul against Brisbane. It was a shooting foul anyway, so Lopez will go to line for 2 shots. On the season, Lopez from the charity stripe only at 55%.
Yeah.
I want to thank our sponsor, Live Sport Australia, showcasing Australian sports online. Make sure you go to Facebook and give the Live Sport Australia group a follow and a like. So Lopez hits them both. Lead out to 4 now. Pretty tight battle, about 8 minutes into the game. Brandon Davis, deep 3, hits the front of the rim. It's tipped. Scramble for the ball. Lamb tries to recover. He can't. Winds up with Rockhampton. Bernard now getting to the rim. Layup is good, plus the foul. Zach Carter gets called for the personal. And Bernard goes to the line for a 3-point play opportunity.
Yeah, great hustle from Austin on the loose ball.
Connor Austin getting down there, as did Jared Shepard.
Carter not happy, but good call.
It's his 2nd personal.
Fair bit of contact.
Jake Davis going to check back in. Christian Lamb going to get a breather. Six points the lead for Rocky.
A little bit of talk going on. I like that. I don't know if you really want to talk to Bernard and get him angry.
Oh, we've seen.
I've seen many an angry import drop a lot of points.
Especially here, especially with Zach. It's usually Zach Carter getting the chatter going.
He does like to just, converse.
Just international relations.
That's right. Oh, Carla. Either jump hook that or dunk it on someone.
Carter from the wing. He'll fire a 3. Rolls off the front of the rim. Carla recovers it. Has it stripped out of bounds. Went off the hands of Lopez, so it's going to stay with the Capitals with 13 seconds on the shot clock. Kopskis inbounds to Brandon Davis. Goes to his favorite left hand. Teardrop is good. I think he's finally settling into the QBL, isn't he?
Yeah.
Bernard's step-back jumper is too strong. Austin out to Lopez, deep 3, rolls in and out, then tipped out of bounds by Austin.
Good energy off the bench from Austin. That's what they need, some of these younger guys to come in and give them a good boost.
And you see Ray Willis wearing the assistant coach's cap. That's good to see him engaged. Jake Davis, wet again from 3.
Well, the 1-3-1, it doesn't matter if it's a 2-3 or a 3-2 or 1-3-1. They've got to communicate, and what they're doing is they're not taking the ball and then they're not getting enough coverage on the next pass. So at the moment, they're just picking them apart the last couple of minutes in particular.
Bernard leaves his feet. Three-pointer by Shepard is in and out. It's tipped around, and Jake Davis comes down with it. He skips it to Brandon Davis. Corner three is up and good.
Great pass from Davis. Really well ran transition, and that's a little bit of the maturity in his game where, you know, last season he would have probably just jacked a horrible three, but he made the really good decision to get Davis a wide open three.
And now Rocky is going to hold for the final shot, though it's stolen. Jake Davis has it again with 3 on the shot clock. Gets it over to Kopskis. Now Brandon Davis. Shot is up. It's too strong. And that's the end of the first quarter. A really nice finish there for the Brisbane Capitals to take the 1-point lead. Fellas, quick thoughts on the first quarter of action, V?
Yeah, pretty even game. Looks both teams obviously like to play up tempo and get quick threes up. It's entertaining. They're going down, so it's more fun. Yeah, anybody's game right now.
DD, it looks like it could be a 120 to 119 game. What do you think?
That's what we like. I don't think so. I think it'll slow down. and if it is going to be a 120, then that could be a 18-point Caps win if that's the pace. Because I don't think Rocky want to have a foot race with them. I think Rocky had nice patience offensively, and that's kept them in the game. And so we'll see if they can continue to. Although Brisbane just snuck in with the 1-point lead at the end of the first, I think Rocky's done a good job to control the pace so far.
All right, we'll see. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with some quarter-time statistics. It's Brisbane up 1 over Rockhampton on your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media.
Yeah, I know.
Back here at NAB Stadium in Auckland Flower. Got to thank Mark for the shout out at the quarter-time break. Shining the bright lights in our eyes, all I see is white spots. I think Rockhampton might be seeing a few white spots after that flash of Brisbane 10 that first quarter, though, Dave.
Yeah, they really finished well, and you know, Brisbane have only out-rebounded them by 1, but have had 11 more shots. So, yeah, not a good sign for Rocky, and I think that's just that little bit of slippage in that 1-3-1 zone they've rolled out.
Corrigan nearly had it stolen by Jake Davis. They're going to get Jake with a personal foul.
2 or
that's
3
his,
now.
and that's his third personal.
Yeah.
So, you know, you want him playing aggressively, but he's got to be mindful of where he is on the court as well. Brandon Davis steps out of bounds, so it's going to stay here with Rocky. 8 seconds to go on the shot clock. Lopez inbounds to right, guarded by Jake Davis. Gets it to Corrigan. Corner jumper is good by Trevor Corrigan.
Well, Corrigan hasn't looked shy either.
And then Wright comes up with the steal. It's a 3-on-2. Wright hands off for Bernard. Good contest, but he's fouled on the body by Nelson Collar.
And it's interesting too. I mean, I think Carla's led the QBL the last 2 or 3 seasons in block shots, and that's probably indicative of the injury. Is he didn't know whether to contest or straight up, and he kind of did something in between and committed the foul.
Seb Windsor into the game for the Cavs. First time we're seeing him this afternoon.
Well, he was the real difference maker against the
Rib
too, Johnny. He didn't get any burn, I think, in the first half, despite Nothing But Net's media's plea, and then inserted him in the third, just like we suggested. Turned the whole game around for them.
Collar gets it on the block, double team. Brisbane works it around. Jake Davis again from 3. That one's a little strong. Wright comes down with it. But Windsor is a real nice piece to bring off the bench, V. He's aggressive defensively. He can do a bit of everything.
He's a good shooter too. He likes the mid-range catch and shoot opportunities. And Brisbane like to play him in that high post area where he's really effective.
It's a 3-point lead here for Rockhampton. Windsor comes in, fires a 3 to knot it at 30.
I was just going to say, it's interesting to see the battle because not too many teams rock out a 1-3-1 and to see if it would disrupt Brisbane. But so far, they're pretty happy with playing against it. Great rebound.
Offensive rebound and the putback. He lets his teammates and Rocky know he's the man in the middle.
Absolutely, great board.
So Collar going to go to the free throw line for the 3-point play opportunity on the season. Nelson shooting at a 50% clip from the charity stripe.
What's the Benjamin Wright story, Johnny? Is he a local or?
I can only assume so, Dave. Unfortunately, I don't know. Did they? What was that, a lane violation?
Yeah.
Must have been a lane violation because it was an N1.
Don't quote me on the Benjamin Wright story, but I think he's from Bundaberg.
Okay.
I think he has an older brother called Mitchell Wright. I think Mitchell's actually at college, but I'm not 100% sure.
All right. That's why we bring you here, V, for your somewhat questionable knowledge.
My expert knowledge.
Now, we love you, V. Thanks for joining us. It's always good to have you in the booth. As Lopez fires a deep one, Zach Carter comes down with the defensive rebound. Coach Tweedy missing Leon Christensen, out for since the fourth game of the season with a broken ankle. And he's a really key piece. We saw him last year light up Toowoomba in Toowoomba.
Yeah.
He's a really nice point guard. Nice pass and a great finish there from Corrigan. He's fouled by Collar, but a great look there by Wright from Bundaberg, we think.
Yeah.
let's go with it.
We'll go with it. Unless someone tells us on YouTube,
it works, it works
let
for
us
Trump.
know for right or wrong.
You just say things and it's okay.
And if they question it, we just say it's fake news.
Or blame V-Dog.
Yeah, we don't do that. You get blamed too much for too many things, V. We won't do that to you here at Nothing But Net.
I appreciate that, John.
We got nothing but love for you, V-Dog. As
Corrigan.
Nice little the 3-point play.
Nice little 7 points for him in the first half. He's been really good.
Windsor now over to Conrad. They're perimeter oriented at the moment for the Capitals. Rocky doing a good job forcing them outside. Windsor rattles home another one. And the foul looks like it's going to go against Wright on the inside, fighting for position with Tim Conrad. It's the second team foul against Rockhampton.
So is that after the shot?
It was inside,
yeah,
so
it was
called
on the rebound.
Yeah.
And they're going to get an offensive foul.
Is that on Jake Davis?
It could be.
Yeah.
It is against Davis, and it
is
is.
too.
That's his 4th personal. So Brandon Davis going to have to check back in as Jake Davis in a bit of foul trouble. Caps have 4 team fouls also, 2:30 into the second quarter. Bernard backdoor to Mitchell, behind the back to Wright. Nice catch.
That's just showing off.
Jimmy Mitchell saying, I could do that.
And Bernard gave Davis a little what for, another pretty pass. Good hoops, both ends.
A good finish there by Carter. Mitchell skips it to Wright. Get it back to Bernard now. Rocky resettling into the half court here. Rockets are down 3. They got 8 on the shot clock. Bernard gets inside, hands off for Corrigan. He can't finish, but he's fouled.
Well, I think seven shots for Bernard in the first 1.5 quarters, Johnny, but he's been really trying to facilitate well, which has been impressive too. Which when you would think he would just come in and gunsling today.
Do you think
you know what I mean?
His teammates are doing a good job finishing as well, so got to love the faith that he's showing in his teammates. But you got to think at some point, Dave, he's going to look to be a little more aggressive.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to do it from beyond the arc this way because Brisbane extends the defense so much. So if I'd be looking to attack from one of the wings, getting someone like Mitchell to handle the ball at the top or right, and then look to get Bernard the ball on either of the wings to operate.
Windsor just hit his third 3 of the game. Brisbane's lead now out to 6. Lopez, opposite wing 3 is good. He's got a nice jimmy.
Yeah,
no wonder why he jacks it from deep.
Yeah, good vision too from Mitchell.
I know the boys from the Long and Short podcast used to love the Jacket James, but I know they love the Jacket Jack Lopez as well. I don't know. I think they're shocked as Lopez again fires from deep. Carter comes down with the defensive rebound. Push ahead to Brandon Davis.
Oh.
Swatted by Jack Lopez, but they're going to say he got Brandon Davis with the body.
Oh, a little bit more argy-bargy.
A lot of chatter out there on the court. A little pushing and shove. Let's see what the referees dish out. Windsor and Corrigan particularly. Windsor has got that bulldog in him. He was the one getting right in there, the smallest guy on the court, getting right in the middle of it.
Well, Rocky just needs to be calm. Like foul or no foul, who cares? But little argy-bargy is great, but they don't need Corrigan getting teed up and so forth. So just stay calm. He does have about 6 inches and 50 kilos on Seb.
Probably. I don't think Seb will take a back step, though. That's for sure.
No, Seb straight out of the mould of his old man, Ray, who used to play in the AFL for the Brisbane Bears. So no doubt they don't mind a little bit of push and shove in that Windsor family.
Hey, it'll be interesting to see what the referees do here. I thought
give
the foul was a foul.
Give him the shots.
I'd like to see just the foul called here. I don't think there's anything necessary after that. We can't hear the chatter that's going on the court. I'm not a big fan of the technical on the chat, but referees see, it's been going on for the half. Maybe want to drop a technical here or there to just settle things down a bit.
I think just let them
play.
I'd love to,
give
I
them
agree.
a warning.
Yeah.
Say, boys, that's enough.
I'm just about to
Shoot
watch the
your free
replay
throws.
here on the screen as well, and it doesn't look like there's any real malice in there. There's a little bit of a chat. There's no major push or shove or anything like that. Both teams had a little bit of a niggle. So assuming nothing completely offensive was said, just the regular foul might be okay.
And I think that's what the referees are doing here.
Well,
here come the
Well,
techs.
they gave Seb a tech, and Corrigan, which is whatever.
I think there was 3
There you go,
techs.
3
But
technicals.
who got the third then?
I'm pretty sure Windsor.
Corrigan,
I'm pretty sure
Seb Windsor.
Windsor got 2.
He's toast. If
what I
he got
saw-
2, isn't that the new rule?
Yeah,
Toast.
2 techs and you're ejected, and then Corrigan got 1. So Windsor might have been ejected here.
I think he is.
Yeah, he's not happy about it either.
I don't know that he knows it yet either.
No. Maybe not.
I have a feeling, based on what I just saw, and we'll wait to see the statistics update, I believe there was a technical foul on
Blue
number
5?
there was blue 5 and gold 5, so there was
Okay.
a technical foul for 5 for each team.
Yep.
And then there was one on 42.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have
Corrigan.
names in front of
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
we
yeah.
got
On
Ben.
Corrigan
Yeah.
from Rocky.
Yeah.
So therefore, the 2 technical fouls on the number 5s negate each other, and we'll just have the foul, just 1 free throw from that technical foul on Corrigan. So we should
right.
have.
But there was a shooting foul as well.
So
Yeah.
then the shooting
Lopez,
foul will
yeah.
get
Will
its
come
normal
after,
shots,
yeah,
and then we'll get the
yeah.
1 technical on Corrigan.
Yeah.
For me, fair enough. You want to give Windsor and Corrigan a tech. That's okay. I don't understand how Wright added any more to it.
I think it was the chat.
And
It
what
was the
Rocky
chat.
did more than Brisbane. I think that's.
I agree. I'm not a
Just-
fan of the technical. You want to do the double text because it was
Sure.
primarily
Calm 'em down,
Corrigan
no
and
worries.
Windsor. But referees have a tough job to do. It was a foul on Brandon Davis, so he'll have a couple of shots. We'll have a technical free throw also from the Capitals, and then they'll have possession. So Ben Wright from Rockhampton and Trevor Corrigan pick up the technical. Seb Windsor also picks up a technical from the Capitals. Here's the technical, I'm assuming. No, these are...
This should be the normal free throws.
Okay. And it was Davis who was fouled. He misses the first one. I like it, though. I like the passion. I like the heat.
It wasn't even a hard foul. Like, it was just a good contest. I mean,
thought so.
I didn't even know what the argy-bargy was about.
I think he just fell after the contact.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was.
I thought it was a good block, actually.
Well, I would like to see the replay because with the naked eye, he looked like he was pretty up and down, but
yeah.
Well, referees have made the call. Anderson hit the technical free throw after Davis missed his 2 free throws. Brisbane has a 4-point lead with 5:45 to go in the first half. And Nasalo back on the court, as is Connor Austin for Rockhampton. Song jumper is off. Then they get Brandon Davis going over the back at James Mitchell.
Well, quick whistles now for the next few minutes, but again, everyone's at the bonus. This could be a long 5 minutes ahead of us, boys.
Yeah, Brisbane just did something really weird there. They had Conrad and Anderson standing in the corners at halfway and made it like a 3-on-3. I've never seen that before.
Maybe they've been practicing their really deep half-court corner three-pointer. Who knows?
Well, they do like to shoot it from a long way out, so maybe.
Mitchell at the line. Hits them both. So it's a 42-40 lead here for Brisbane. Conrad's been quiet here so far. Nasalo gets called for the reach-in. Brandon Davis back to the free throw line. Wasn't happy with himself missing 2 earlier, so hits this first one here. Second one's good. Those left-handers, it always looks nicer coming out of the left hand, doesn't it?
And even if it doesn't, often they have a good way of finding the bucket.
Bernard missed that wide open 3. He's really yet to get on track for Rockhampton. I think they'd be pretty happy at only down 4. Davis flips it up and in. So we see that, again, that Brisbane offense really spreading it out and just allowing that dribble penetration from Brandon Davis. Nasalo finds Mitchell, who skips past, is too high there for Bernard. Turnover there for Rocky. That's their 8th turnover of the afternoon. Windsor from the wing, 3-pointers off and out of bounds.
I'm a bit confused with what
it's a 3-man offense at the moment.
And Anderson are doing.
Well, they are spreading them out technically because Rockhampton is guarding those 2 guys, Anderson and Conrad, at the half-court line.
Yeah.
Mitchell has it stripped and stolen by Brandon Davis. Aaron Anderson finds Conrad wide open for 3. It's short. And then a skip pass over the top goes to James Mitchell, who lays it up and in. And then it looks like it's going to be a bench technical against Coach Neil Tweedy.
I think it's a tech on Anderson.
Let's see what the referees call out here. Yeah, it's a bench technical on Rockhampton.
My apologies, John.
There's a bit of chat between the coaching staff from Rockhampton and Aaron Anderson as well. Not sure exactly what happened there, but
again, I don't know if Riggs can have a replay, but I think he was dirty at maybe an undercut.
Yeah, Aaron sort of went. I don't think he went underneath Mitchell as he took the layup, but he sort of ran through to try and
I think that's what
steal the ball.
Tweedy's accusing him of.
Yeah.
So a few technicals dished out here to Rockhampton as Aaron Anderson misses the technical free throw. Rockhampton's a bit fiery here. 3 games in 3 days, probably a bit cranky. Got in late Friday night, dropped a tough one last night to North Gold Coast.
Yeah, maybe Neil and Richo didn't sleep very well last night, and they're a bit grumpy this morning.
That's the 3rd technical on Rocky here in the first half. Kopska spins inside, gets it out to Brandon Davis. Wing 3 hits the front of the rim. Bernard comes down with the defensive rebound.
Does Timmy Conrad need a breather, you reckon, V-Dog, down
I don't know.
on offense, mate?
Timmy was the only one standing at half court that time, so maybe he's upgraded to 4-on-4.
Masala missed.
I was going to say, I did just look at the replay then, Dave, and I have no idea what happened because there was no contact. The only thing I can think of is they were getting angry at Anderson or the other player in there at the time for the contact on the backboard after the shot was made, but there was no contact whatsoever, so that is very confusing.
Yeah.
Tim Song gonna get called for the blocking foul there on Jack Lopez.
Well, Richo better stay warm because he may have to take over if Tweedy gets angry again.
So Lopez gonna go to the free throw line. Lamb and Carter check in for Brandon Davis and Tim Song. Lopez hits the first.
It was only a bench technical as well, though, Dave. So technically, Tweedy's still got two more up his sleeve. Right, so he'll be staying for a while.
Yeah, good call. That's right.
Lopez hits them both, so the deficit down to 2 for Rockhampton with 3:15 to go in the first half. Carter catch and shoots an air ball.
The whole bench tech thing's weird, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like either a player said something or a coach said something.
Lopez, 3, regains the lead for Rocky.
Surely the ref knows who spoke.
And I think they know who spoke. The reason that bench technical gives you 3 is because they don't necessarily want to turf a coach based on something that his bench has said.
Yeah.
That's the reasoning behind it. I think they knew who said it, and I've got a feeling it came from Wills, is it?
I think it was Richo because he jumped up and he was out of his seat, and that's when the ref blew the whistle. So,
but then shouldn't that go to the player?
No, if they're not, if they're on the bench, they can't. It's not a personal foul because they're not on the court. Yeah, the whole thing's it is interesting, but you don't want to punish a coach because someone on his bench says something, because otherwise you turf the coach after 2 because of what his bench said, and then there's no one there to actually control the bench. And then it's just going to get worse.
Foul went against Christian Lamb on Malcolm Bernard.
It'll get all Boomer versus Filipino on everyone's screens.
I'm thinking that might happen today. Tweedy might jump up and smack somebody soon.
Well, he's definitely biting his lip there on the coaching bench.
He's been around. He knows how to push them, and he knows when to be quiet.
It's a 3-point game. It is a tight one. Bernard goes 1 of 2. Conrad saves it. Carter steps into a wing 3. That one's too strong, and Bernard with the defensive rebound.
I was going to say.
And he's fouled from behind by Christian Lamb. Lamb picking up a couple quick ones. That's his 3rd personal.
Good call.
Definitely a very scrappy affair here this afternoon. It's a high-scoring one. There is a timeout taken on the floor, so we'll take one as well. 2:23 to go in the first half. It's a 3-point lead for the Capitals over Rockhampton in your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here from NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. The Brisbane Capitals are up 3 on the Rockhampton Rockets, 51-48, 2:23 to go in the first half. Malcolm Bernard at the free throw line hits his first one. Interesting first half of action, something that we've never really seen before. From Brisbane, really going with the 5 out but 2 at half court offense.
We're back to normal basketball. Here
We're
we go.
back, though. They got the 5 out now at the moment. Carter gets his way to the bucket, finishes, plus the foul.
Good take from Carter. Beat Nasalo to the middle.
Yeah, there are really some tough matchups for both sides. You look at it, Nasalo and Carter, that's a tough matchup for Penny Nasalo.
Yeah, well, again, that's the other challenge too. If they're gonna sit in a zone all night long, I think they need a bit more variety, in and out of their zone. Otherwise, Brisbane gets comfortable, and again, Brisbane has. So if Rocky was semi-controlling quarter one, then Brisbane's certainly controlling the second quarter here.
Tim Conrad gets called for the personal, holding on to James Mitchell. Jimmy Mitchell with the nice cut to the basket, and Conrad fouls him from behind. It's a very whistle-heavy second quarter. We knew that was going to be after the technicals were dished out, but it's really prevented either team from getting into a consistent flow, definitely affecting both teams, particularly on the offensive end.
We might not be able to have 120, 118 play because we won't have any players left.
Mitchell hits them both, so lead back to 3 for Brisbane. We're under 2 to go now in the first half. Conrad nearly has it stolen. It is stolen. Mitchell comes up with it, tips it to himself, and then with the left hand, too strong. That would have been nice there for Mitchell.
Yeah.
Now Anderson over to Christian Lamb. No look. Works around to Kopskis. Wing 3 is short. Gets his own rebound, though. Lamb opposite wing 3. That's off the front of the rim. Then Carter can't finish the follow. Winds up with Anderson in the corner. That's short. Carter again tips it too strong.
Gee, they've been cold the last few minutes, Brisbane.
Rocky, patient now.
Whenever the live stats updates, I'm going to give him 10 of 31 by my count.
Tipped out of bounds by Aaron Anderson. Rockhampton's got 12 on the shot clock.
They've now had 24 more shots than Rocky.
It's amazing they're only up 3, Dave.
Yeah.
Mitchell dumps it off for Corrigan. Jimmy Mitchell wanted the contact. He didn't get it, but he got the assist. The lead now 1 for Brisbane.
Well, Rocky's got to do a better job of rebounding as well. They're not a great rebounding team. I think they're actually the worst rebounding team in the league. So they're hanging tough right now, which is good, but they've got to clean up. They can't give Brisbane all these extra possessions.
Carter hits the long 2. 3-point lead now for Brisbane. Bernard playing the point for Rocky here. Comes off the Corrigan screen. Now out to Lopez. He's open. Deep 3 is up and good from Jack Lopez. Haven't been able to really close out on Lopez. They're running a really high screen for Lopez to come off of. They get Corrigan for the blocking foul on Kopskis with just under 11 seconds to go in the half. V, what is Rocky doing there on those Lopez screens though? You can see him, he's catching it quite deep.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to stretch the Caps defenders out. As we know, Jeff likes to pack it in, and they do like to have a lot of pressure on the ball, so maybe the help's a little bit slow coming off the on-ball. But Lopez is shooting it from so deep, it's hard to get out there, and he has a nice long extension on his shot, so it's tough to guard.
And Brisbane definitely struggling with it so far. They're up 2. They trap Bernard at half court. He nearly turns it over, recovers, 3-pointer up. It's off, tipped out by Kopskis. That shot's not going to count. And that's the end of the first half. It's 58-56 Brisbane. It got a little bit ugly there at points in the second quarter, but fellas, it was a pretty good first half of action. 58-56. What do you like from each team, Dave?
Well, we said Rocky needed to have something more than the Bernard show, and they've got 18 from Lopez and 9 from Corrigan, which is a good help. And Bernard's got 11. Hasn't really had I guess, really put his stamp on the game offensively, but he has facilitated well, and probably he's been responsible for getting Lopez, him and Mitchell, getting Lopez going. So I think they're going okay. I mean, Rocky's got to be pretty happy, to be honest, going down 2 into the game. So I think they're pretty happy. And from Brisbane's point of view, this is this is how they've played all year. They've played some good games, some bad games, and they've shot the ball well and they haven't shot the ball well. So, I mean, this is Brisbane. The difference between Brisbane being good and bad is a couple of shots going down, to be honest. So, but just for them, I just think maybe a little bit more patience offensively and getting a few more skips in that half-court set might be beneficial.
V-Dog, what do you like from either team? Anything jumping out at you in that first half of action?
No, it's pretty consistent, I think, for Brisbane. This is what they like to do. They like to get their threes up. And as Dave said, you know, they make a couple more. It's probably a 10-point game. They're not shooting the three great, but they'll keep getting them up. And, you know, as they showed last night against Toowoomba with a 40-11 fourth quarter, they're capable of catching fire real quickly. As Dave also said, Rocky, I'd be pretty happy if I was Coach Tweedy right now being down 2. I think they can get a lot better. I think Rocky are right in this.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's only a 2-point deficit for Rockhampton at the halftime break. We'll take that break. We'll come back with some halftime statistics and the second half of action here from NAB Stadium in Auckland Flower. It's the Caps up 2 over the Rockets. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. It is halftime between the Brisbane Capitals and the Rockhampton Rockets. It's a 2-point lead for the Caps over Rockhampton. Dave, let's take a quick look at some of the halftime statistics.
Well, a couple of the ones that are interesting is Brisbane out-rebounded Rocky by 6, which is, I think they're the 13th and 15th worst rebounding teams in the league. So that doesn't tell a huge story, but the plus 22 shots is, critical of why Brisbane has the lead. And the only reason I guess they're not up 15 is they haven't shot the ball too well. So if they continue to shoot poorly, Rocky has a chance, but Rocky's really got to lift their defensive energy and effort and take away some of the threes. They've shot 31 threes already. Luckily, they only made 10. And for Rocky, again, they've done a pretty good job. Obviously, just need to get Bernard some more opportunities. Same things, Mitchell needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Only 3 shots. He's played his facilitator role, but I think they need him to finish with about 16 to 18 if they're going to be competitive for me.
And V-Dog, what do you think Rocky needs to do? How can they get James Mitchell a few more looks or Bernard? Do they have to take Bernard off the ball to get him some looks?
Maybe. Yeah, he's a good spot-up shooter as well, so maybe get the ball out of his hands a little more, get him down the floor, might get some open looks off some penetration. We'll see what Coach Tweedy came up with at halftime.
Well, I'll tell you what, a pretty embarrassing start defensively. He just walked down the middle and got an easy bucket, so not a good start from Rocky.
Defensively is certainly where they want to show the improvement. They were shot over 50% from the field in the first half, so super efficient from Rockhampton, just unable to really get the stops when they need them, I guess. In saying that, they're only down by 4.
Whack.
Lopez.
Whack, whack.
He doesn't look like everyone looks like it's going in. That one certainly hit nothing but net.
That's just silly. Silly foul. Actually, I think the points probably should count too.
Oh, I agree. I think he got the shot off before the whistle blew.
Just was silly. I don't know what, Wright's mucking around doing dance moves with him just to get over the screen.
Oh, blue 5, unsporty. He's out.
He's 2. That is tough.
He picked up the technical in the first.
Why is it unsportsmanlike? Why is that not just a common foul?
I think it was because it was an elbow/arm straight to the back of the head. Whether it was an intentional or not, it was a somewhat semi-hard hit to the back of the head.
Yeah, but
that'd be their reasoning.
Well, by our math, he's tossed then, right?
Correct. 1 tech, 1 unsportsmanlike.
Is that the rule, Regan, our resident referee?
Yeah, the new rule came in that 2 technical fouls or 2 fouls of technical or unsportsmanlike is an ejection. You used to be able to get as many technical fouls as you like. You could have 5 personal fouls, all technicals, and stay on the floor. The new rule is 2 of anything.
Well, he's not.
And you're out.
They're not tossing him, though. Oh, they are.
There he goes. They said it was his 5th anyway, so he would have been done, and that's a huge loss. He had a pretty nice first half.
Yeah,
that just shortens the Rockhampton bench by another player. Coach Tweedy looks a bit baffled, not sure where he wants to go with this one.
Well, he's got the old days, you had a minute to sub. I love it how referees are really, they really force it, but I think the old days, you had a minute to make a decision after
30
seconds, was it? And you'd use all 30 of them just for something to do.
Yeah, just to kill time.
But these days, referees are all over it. They're like, who's coming in? Well, in 30 seconds, I'll tell you who's coming in.
Yeah, I got to work it out.
That's right. And give my guys a quick timeout unofficially.
Well, Wright definitely ejected because he's not even allowed to sit on the bench. So I'm head back to the locker room. That's a big loss for Rockhampton. 40 seconds into the second half.
Why did we have 2 free throws there, though? That's my next question.
Well, I think it was.
So did they count the point?
They didn't count it.
No.
I think they called it.
Unsportsmanlike. He had 2.
Yeah, okay.
I think he actually took 3 shots. I think he took the first one before Wright had gone to the bench.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Who knows? Interesting.
Well, it's a 2-point lead for the Capitals now, 61-59. Lopez in the corner. 3-pointer is up. Good defensive rebound there from Tim Conrad. Carter inside for Jake Davis. Now Anderson has it with 12 on the shot clock.
Yeah, just the 3 shots for Anderson in the first half.
Conrad short. Lopez defensive rebound. Bernard skips it to Nasalo. Inside now, Bernard goes to his right. Pass is nearly stolen. Good recovery there from Austin. Rocky though, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Lopez, wing 3, too strong.
Good looking shot, a good screen from Nasalo too to get him open. And they got to continue with that. I mean, at the end of the day, Lopez and Bernard really need to be the main guys getting the shots.
Carter wide open for 3, and he swishes that one.
They got to get out of this zone or they're going to get blown, in my opinion.
Well, they're going to sit in the zone to really conserve energy, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're not playing it well, and they're going to be on the sword of a 15, 20-point loss if they keep going the way they're going.
Well, V-Dog, I want you to pretend you're Coach Tweedy. Do you sit in the zone or do you switch it up?
It's tough because they're still hanging tough. I mean, you can't obviously sit in the zone for too long because the other team gets comfortable. So maybe Neil just needs to come out of it for a few plays, drop back to it, and then just keep mixing up his defense.
All right, well, Coach Tweedy going to take a timeout, Dave?
I was going to say, it's a good timeout. They needed it. And maybe out of here, he might have, you know, for the next 2 possessions, we'll go back to our 1 and then flip it back to the zone again. You want to just keep being disruptive. That's the key. And they're not playing the 2 well, so they need something to shake it up.
All right, well, here's the timeout. We'll take a quick one as well. Caps have run out to an 8-point lead over the Rockets. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back with you at NAB Stadium in Auken Flower. 8-point lead for the Caps. They deflect it out of bounds. It's going to stay with Rocky with 16 seconds to go on the shot clock. Mitchell getting set to inbound for Rocky. Gets it out to Nasalo. Gets the Austin screen. Picks up his dribble. He's in a bit of trouble here, Penny Nasalo. Lopez baseline jump shot. Too strong.
I'd like to see Mitchell maybe, you know, try and get some opportunities in the high post because he's a good decision maker. So if they can try and move the ball, Mitchell do his thing, either short corner or high post, that's where he's really tough. You know, smart guy who can hit some guys. And it just can't be, sorry, Johnny, it just can't be now. I know I said get Lopez going, but offensively they look really, really junk the last few minutes.
I mean, I'm only seeing Bernard for the first time, but I wouldn't mind seeing him in the post. He's got the size advantage on most of the defenders also. Just a different look and see if he can get going. They're putting Mitchell in the post here. Nasalo has it stripped by Kopskis. There's 3 on the shot clock. Bernard has to throw up a wild one. It's off the side of the rim. Mitchell comes down with it. Now Nasalo inside. Pass is tipped out of bounds off the hands of Malcolm Bernard. Carter inside, lays it in.
Not a good sign here in the third quarter for the Rockets. 11-3 so far, quarter, and just some horribly lazy defense.
That's about the 3rd catch in a row we've seen Zach Carter uncontested in the paint. Nasalo, air ball, that goes out of bounds, and Coach Tweedy going to go to the bench. Corrigan going to come in for Connor Austin. So Rocky has got Lopez, Corrigan, Bernard, Nasalo, and Mitchell. Caps answer with Conrad. Gonna fire a 3. He's yet to get going. That's an air ball. Kopskis saves it. Now Rockhampton through Bernard. He's going to get called for the offensive foul. Don't know what he's complaining about. Conrad pretty much camped out in that spot for a good 3 seconds before the contact.
Yeah, they're the ones, as a player, you kind of go, how did he get there? I didn't see him.
You put your head down, build up the head of steam, and you look up and you got the Conrad wall standing in front of you.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's something, and you want to see that from everyone, but you bring in a guy with the experience that Tim Conrad has, struggling offensively, but he's still getting at it defensively for you. That's leadership to me, and that's what he brings to the table, not just his offensive chops.
Oh.
Corrigan can't get it to fall. Mitchell now for Rockhampton. His team's down 10. Bernard in a bit of trouble, spins away from the double team. Now Lopez from the wing. His three is short. Jake Davis kicks ahead for Aaron Anderson, who's going to settle things down for Brisbane. Carter blocked by Lopez. Carter got himself in a bit of trouble there and got swatted on the finish. Skip pass to Bernard. He'll fire a deep three. It's off the back of the rim. Kopskis now for Anderson. He'll step into the wing three. That's good from Aaron Anderson. The lead is now 13 for the Caps.
Yeah, 1 of 10 from the three for Bernard tonight. And a lot of them haven't been what I'd call good rhythm jump shots. A lot of them have been forced. So, it's always tough. I mean, you lose a guy like, Willis, and you kind of got to make up a bit of a new flow in a night.
Lopez nearly stole it. It went out of bounds. But to me, and again, seeing Rockhampton for the first time, you got to run something for Bernard going to the rim. And again, Carter wide open underneath. That's just Swiss cheese defense there.
As a coach, I'd be getting a tech just to get angry and get a tech or something. I mean, that's just, I've never seen, is that the fourth layup out of nothing?
Yeah,
just with a kick ahead.
That's not even in a transition phase. That's Rocky not picking someone up, running straight down the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
They look really disjointed at both ends right now. They're struggling to get a shot, and they're not picking up anyone on defense. So this could get real ugly real soon.
They just look really fatigued, I think, as well. Like no one really wants the ball offensively right now for the Rockets.
And it's the credit to the Brisbane defense as Bernard gets fouled by Kopskis. Second team foul. But I'd like to see Rocky run something to try and get Bernard going. The outside shot's not falling for him at the moment.
No, you're right, and they ran a good set just then for Jimmy Mitchell, and he had a nice drive. So equally, they just haven't ran a great deal of stuff tonight.
Three-pointer from Nasalo is good. I think they just gave Kopskis a flopping warning as well. Is that a 3 or a 2?
Well, I think it was a 2, John.
Yeah, well, I called it a 3, but they gave it a 2. Corrigan gets called for the blocking foul on Jake Davis. So it is 74-61 with 3 to go in the third.
I looked like good D to me. Like, chest up, moving his feet, no hands, show your numbers.
Yeah, I think Corrigan's done a great job today. He's really impressed me.
He has been good.
It's a baseline out of bounds here. Lamb getting set to inbounds. Goes deep for Kopskis. Now Lamb gets it back in the corner inside for Collar. Spinning baseline out to Anderson. Wing 3 is short.
Well, he didn't even look at the rim. He was so deep. He had a nice up and under reverse hook as opposed to trying to look for a 3 all the time, look for the kick out. I mean, that's what he brings to this team is a little bit of inside-outside and sometimes keep the ball inside.
Well, Jack Lopez brings the 3-bomb to Rocky, cuts the deficit to 10.
Because we know it goes outside a lot.
Well, there's Collar inside, looking at the rim and laying it in.
Untouched, another layup.
Wide open, again right under the basket. Mitchell now at the elbow, skips it to Nasalo. Good pump fake. Baseline jump shot, though, is off. Lamb with the defensive rebound. Brisbane having themselves a third quarter here. They're up big. Nice dump off for Collar from Kopsikis. The layup is good, and it's back to 14, the lead for the Caps.
Yeah, plus 11 third quarter here for the Caps.
Someone needs to step up for Rocky on the offensive end. Nasalo.
Well, Corrigan's got a slip. There you go.
There's Corrigan. Turnaround jump shot. It's off the back of the rim.
He had, if he presented himself earlier for a nice little cut, Nasalo would have hit him, and he would have just had a nice little.
Collar blocked by Lopez.
Lopez thinks he's Matumbo today.
Then he gets his hands on the ball. Lopez been far and away the Rockets' best. Bernard, tough catch and finish in transition from Mitchell. Lopez not really known for his defense, but he's contested a few and swatted a couple as well.
Yeah.
Pass tipped out of bounds off the hands of Rocky.
Well, this is where the Rockets are going to struggle. You've got 3 fresh Caps ready to get at them, and the Rocky boys are looking a little bit fatigued. A lot of hands on hips, and they're scrapping well to hang in the game.
Lamb gets it out to Brandon Davis. There's Lamb on the other side. His three-pointer hits the front of the rim. Nice inside-out pass. Good hesitation there by Bernard out to Lopez. He'll fire the wing three, and that rattles in as well.
I thought Bernard, that was one of the better looks he had all night.
I agree with you, Dave. I'm like, why didn't he shoot that?
Well, Lopez has 30.
Well, he was thinking about his 1 of 10, but today you don't have to worry about that. Keep loading up. Oh, just wanted to involve the sponsors. That's the kind of team guys they are here at Capitals.
Shot out to Brisbane basketball. Turnover there gives Rocky an opportunity to cut the deficit again. There's about a 2-second differential between the game and shot clock here, so Rocky will be able to run it down pretty tight.
Well, they get a bucket here. You know, that might be really nice to give Rocky a bit of pump up, and somewhat deflating if you're Brisbane.
Bernard,
like that.
Deep three. That's a big bucket. Cuts the deficit to 6. Can Brandon Davis, half-court shot. Wouldn't count anyway, so heading into the quarter-time break, after really dominating the third quarter, it's only a 6-point lead for the Capitals.
Yeah, they fought back. I mean, it was a plus 11. It's going to finish plus 7. And I just wonder how much juice is left in the Rocky tank. Johnny?
Well, we'll find out shortly. It is the quarter-time break, so we'll take one as well. We'll come back with some statistics and the final fourth quarter of action as the Caps up 6 over the Rockets on your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Welcome back to NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. 6-point lead for the Capitals over the Rockets. It's heading to an exciting finish, Dave. Looking at the statistics, Jack Lopez leading all scorers on the game. He's got 30 heading into the fourth.
Well, just what the doctor ordered was a bit of Lopez and Mitchell And Corrigan's chipped in well as well. He's got 9 points.
And then they get Malcolm Bernard for an unsportsmanlike foul. Coach Tweedy has to take a little stroll down the sideline to cool his jets, because I believe that's going to be the fourth. Oh, it's the fourth against Bernard. I thought that was going to be his fifth. They're going to say he kicked the leg out and tripped up Lamb. I didn't see that one. I saw him fall over. But a bit of trouble here for Bernard.
Issue with it. It was unsportsmanlike.
It
was an intentional play at the body.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Johnny's a hard taskmaster. I was in charge of getting the stats up.
And then Tweedy gets himself a technical foul and an ejection.
Coach Tweedy going to the showers early. I'm sure he's gonna let everyone know on his way out what he thinks. he was walking cross court knowing that it was coming. He's had enough. Coach Richardson now going to take over the coaching duties.
Well,
second ejection for Rockhampton here this afternoon.
Well, I don't know why Tweedy did that, to be honest. It's a two-shot game. And, you know, you just picked up a foul. Okay, no worries. You're unhappy with it. I mean, it wasn't like it was a bad call. So,
Carter misses both free throws, though. It's going to stay with the Capitals. So 7 seconds in to the final quarter. Malcolm Bernard gets called for an unsportsmanlike foul, and Coach Neil Tweedy ejected. It's been a rough afternoon for Rocky. They're only down 6. And then a wedgie from Brandon Davis. I love the starters, by the way. Shout out to the starters on NBA TV. That's one of their favorites, the good old wedgie. So possession arrow stays with Brisbane. 18 on the shot clock. Bernard comes up with the steal. He jets and puts it down with 2 hands. It's only 4 points to lead now for Brisbane.
Yeah, Caps are probably going to be a little frustrated that they're only up by 4 right now.
Absolutely.
They kind of dominated that third quarter. So good job by Rocky, hanging tough.
Brandon Davis gets it inside. Collar goes right at the bucket. Layup is good. That's nice there from Nelson Collar.
Yeah, good patience from the Caps as well.
Does the fourth personal against Bernard make him strictly outside now? Do you hesitate to run anything from to the basket?
No, he's just got to play ball. I mean, whatever happens, happens. It's if he plays hesitant, they're not going to win. So he's just got to play basketball and keep being aggressive, present. I mean, I'm the same as you. I'd like to see him maybe a little bit off the ball versus, I guess, leading the transition and leading their attack.
Skips it to Bernard. His corner 3 is up. That one's short. That would have been a huge bucket for Rockhampton.
Yeah.
Here comes Windsor now pushing the pace. Over to Brandon Davis, gets inside.
Well, that's the thing too with this Caps group. It's a little bit different to previous years where, you know, they had a bit more confidence and they were, you know, playing really consistent basketball. This year they've been quite inconsistent. So if Rocky could have, you know, got it to an even or a lead and a timeout, Caps would have been a bit nervous.
Nasalo with 6 on the shot clock, in a bit of trouble. Lopez, deep 3 is up and good. Jack Lopez putting on the shooting displays like fireworks out here from Rocky, because they're exploding all the way from deep. And then Bernard forces the turnover. Nasalo up ahead to Mitchell. Mitchell lays it up and in, and the deficit 3 for Rocky.
Well, remember that timeout I said Caps might have to call? It could be a possession away. That was his 9th 3, Lopez. 9 of 14.
Not a bad clip either. Brandon Davis looking to answer. His 3 is short. Lopez with the defensive board.
Just for interest's sake, let's get a 3 ball here. And
yeah, Lopez has got to get the next touch, right?
Bernard at the free throw line, out to Mitchell. He'll fire the 3. That's too strong. Defensive rebound to Collar. Now Carter, transition 3 is up, and that's way short.
I don't think I've ever seen. Is that like the 6th air ball 3 today.
Yeah, we've seen a few, that's for sure. Certainly seen a few from both sides, actually, Dave.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen as many air ball 3s.
It is a Sunday morning. Get up early, have a big run. Both teams played last night. Rocky on the 3rd game in 3 days. Corrigan loses it. Now Anderson with the Jets on. Goes right at Lopez. Up and under. Layup is good. It's so good to see Aaron Anderson back and healthy. He's one of my favorites.
Well, I was seeing if Lopez was going to add to his block party, but Anderson really crafty in transition. Nasalo misses the 3.
That's a good look, though. Bernard able to get inside. Nasalo unable to convert.
Yeah, they've been offensively. They've looked better in this 4th quarter.
That's a good extra pass, and then Corrigan leaking out. Gets it back out to Bernard. Bernard inside on his way to the bucket. Can't finish, but he's fouled by Windsor. And he was lucky on that one. That was borderline there. That was pretty close. They're going to, I think referees recognizing Bernard on 4. Going to get one on Windsor there, so Bernard going to the line for 2.
It's the right call. It's a good call. It's close, but it's
close.
Good call.
Yeah, for sure. Bernard's free throw. Hits the first one. Second one up and good as well. So 3 points the lead for the Capitals. We got about 6 to go in the game. Jacob Davis wide open. That's unlike him to hesitate. Now he comes off the screen, gets inside, out to Kopskis. He'll fire a deep 3, and that's good. That's a big bucket there from Kopskis, doubling up the lead to 6 now. Mitchell comes off the Lopez screen. A lot of dribble. Bernard using that hesitation. And then they get him for the offensive foul. That's his 5th, and good night, Malcolm Bernard.
Did Richo bring his jersey, do you think? They might need him.
Yeah, they are really skinny on the bench right now.
Yeah, Jared Shepard gets the call up.
Well, the young kids are going to get some burn, but on a positive, I think the rest of the guys aren't in foul trouble.
Deep 3 from Windsor, that's too strong. Defensive rebound to Mitchell. Has it stripped from behind by Kopskis. Kopskis skips it to Anderson. He's open for 3, and he drains it. So quick lead back up to 9 now for Brisbane.
Him and Anderson and Garrett Hall, 2 of the most efficient looking jump shots in the league.
And when Anderson has it going on, it just makes him so much more difficult to guard also when he's got the deep jumper going.
Oh, Nasalo snapped him.
Lopez
says, I'd like my 10th 3, but he didn't deliver.
That wasn't a clean catch from him. Conrad, nice extra pass. Jake Davis 3. Corrigan comes down with it.
Richo knows he's got timeout left, right? Like the guys need a breather.
I think they might be looking to get to the airport. Good hesitation from Nasalo. A lot of contact. He loses it on the way up. Now Kopskis kicks ahead for Anderson. Anderson dumps it off for Conrad. Loses it on the way up. This is where Brisbane can really grind you down. They're up 9. That aggressive Brisbane defense still picking you up right at half court. Lopez pass tipped out of bounds by Kopskis with 6 seconds to go. And Coach Richardson gonna take a timeout, so we'll take one as well. 4 minutes to go in the game, and the Caps up 9 on Rocky. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. back here at NAB Stadium in Augenflower. 90-81 the lead for the Capitals. Clock definitely not in Rockhampton's favor. Nasalo's wing three hits the front of the rim. Windsor has it now for Brisbane.
Well, I was just going to say they're about a 3-pointer away from being toast.
Yeah, I think the bus driver's got the keys in the ignition. He's about to start the bus for them to go to the airport.
Yeah, always frustrating, obviously, for the Rockets, you know, losing a really good player, which is going to be harsh. They battled really well today. They've been impressive.
Nice pass from Mitchell to Nasalo. Jimmy Mitchell, that's his second behind the back today.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the stats, sorry, Johnny, but, you know, 26 more shots from the Caps. I mean, you're just not going to be competitive giving away that many extra possessions. And also, obviously, with the amount of threes Brisbane shoots, those extra possessions mean a lot of points.
Yeah, big three there from Jake Davis. I was going to ask if you think Brisbane will take the foot off the pedal, but they never do, no matter what the situation. So, Nasalo fading away. Taking it back. Now under three, and it's a 12-point lead for Brisbane. Davis gets inside, a lot of contact, no call.
I thought he was well defended then by Corrigan.
Shepard in a bit of trouble. Pass tipped out of bounds off the leg of Tim Conrad. Lopez. That one's short. Nasalo, though, chases down the rebound and then lays it in.
Great move baseline.
They're kind of hanging around here, Rocky. Brisbane not really able to pull away. Will they have enough gas left in the tank? Conrad loses it out of bounds, going to stay with the Capitals. Timmy Conrad's been frustrated all afternoon. Coach Tarrant a little frustrated as well, so he's going to take a timeout. We're going to take one as well. We'll come back with the final 2 minutes of this game with Brisbane up 10 over the Rockets on your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Back here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower, 10-point lead for the Caps over the Rockets. Caps have 7 on the shot clock. Windsor finds Conrad, driving baseline, lays it up and in.
Well, you said, Johnny, a bit of a frustrating afternoon for Conrad. Only had 2 of 11 and he's missed all 5 of his threes. Unfortunately for him, a bit of a coming back to earth after he was tearing the league apart the last few weeks.
And Davis lays it up nice and high there from Brandon Davis.
But most importantly, his boys in yellow will get the win.
Nasalo's pass is stolen by the Caps. Here comes Conrad with it. Gets it out. Jake Davis will fire a deep three. Nasalo defensive rebound. You got to be impressed with what Rocky was able to do, minus Ray Willis, and then losing pretty much right at the start of the second half. But you got to give Capitals credit as well. They took every shot that Rockhampton had, and they really just wore them down this afternoon. It was a pretty impressive performance from both teams, I think, V.
Yeah, Brisbane just do what they do, continue to put points on. Their defense is all about a lot of pressure, and making good help, good early help, and making it hard for the other team to score.
Yeah, and do you think it was anything that they did particularly? I kind of felt like they were double teaming Bernard and really wanting to force the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, they applied a lot of good pressure on Malcolm, made him give the ball up, and they forced other people to make shots.
Mitchell had a pretty decent game for Rockhampton. Probably not the offensive output that you would have liked to see from James Mitchell. How much credit do you give the Caps defense in that, though, Dave?
Well, I think, you know, I don't want to take him away from the Brisbane D, but again, 6 shots for me from Jimmy is not enough. And again, he's going to finish with 10 dimes, a few turnovers, which will be dirty about, 8 rebounds. I just think he's kind of like, you know, you get 10 or 11 would be attempts would have been better in this scenario, and equally today when they needed him to score a bit more.
I think they just gave Seb Windsor another technical for a delay of game. So
well, he's toast.
He's done now, too. That's his second technical. He's just realizing it now.
Off to the showers.
So Seb will get an early breather. So Windsor definitely done. Look at Brisbane, though. Not really. There wasn't particularly one player that stood out to me from the Capitals on the offensive side of things. Again, a really well-balanced attack for Brisbane. You're looking at the numbers, though. Zach Carter leads the way with them, with 24 points. But I thought Anderson was really good. Brandon Davis had a great game, as did Jake Davis.
Yeah, they did share the ball well. I mean, they've got 30 assists, which is pretty good. And for them, they're second in the league in assists, Johnny, averaging 26 a game. So pretty standard offensive production for the Caps tonight. Moved the ball well, and again, they've now won another game, so they're chipping in. They're 4-2 the last 6 now. Rocky's going to cling to 8th, I think.
And you'll look at the week ahead for both teams. Rockhampton next Saturday night will host the Toowoomba Mountaineers as Lopez hits another three.
There you go. He's banked in his 10th, which is, I think, as good as I've seen 10 3 balls in a game.
And then the Capitals have the Southwest Metro Pirates here next Sunday. So a couple of really important games for both teams. Every game is going to be important here on out for both of these teams, fighting for a couple of those last few final spots. Both games definitely, both teams I think will look at both of those games and see them as winnable games for themselves. It's going to be a really interesting finish to this season. At the top of the ladder, it's not really settled, nor at the bottom and everything in between, so all spots really up for grabs. A good performance as Conrad tries to get one to fall. It doesn't. And the final score here from NAB Stadium in Auchenflower will be 101-93. It wasn't always pretty, but it's the result that the Capitals wanted and they got.
It was, and again, well done to both teams. Rockets really hung in there, gave it a good crack. Brisbane just too good on the day. How many would we have? 4 ejections? 3? 3.
3.
3 ejections.
Yeah.
About
12
7
tech fouls.
Yeah, there was a few of those, but I think the referees did a good job keeping it under control, which was nice. Nothing got really out of hand. You could see Coach Tweedy just frustrated, getting ejected. I thought the one on Wright was a little bit harsh, but it did affect Rockhampton, and I guess maybe I see it as harsh because it affected the rotations for Rocky, and I think it had a bit to do with. You're not going to say that the outcome would have been any different, but it could have been different because Wright was playing pretty well for Rocky. Bernard's 6-point game. Yeah. When he went out too. So yeah. So it's a tough one, but it's a good result for Brisbane. Rockhampton will go home 1-2 on their 3-game road trip to Southeast Queensland. V-Dog, I just want to hit you for your final thoughts before we wrap things up.
Yeah, it was pretty even contest. I thought both teams gave themselves a chance to win the game. Unfortunately for Rocky, Bernard fouled out and took away a scorer. But Lopez was awesome, had 36 points, I think. And Brisbane, just their depth really showed it in the fourth quarter that they were they're on the rise.
They definitely are, Dave. Let's take a quick look at the final stats, and then I'll get your final thoughts before we wrap up, Dave.
Yeah, well, Carter finished with 24. Carla Nelson Carla 10 points, Brandon Davis 19, Seb Windsor 11, Aaron Anderson finished with 14. Again, they had 30 assists on 38 buckets is always a pretty good stat as well of you know, proving that they're sharing the ball and making some shots. And for the Rockets, you know, the standout was clearly Jack Lopez with 36. Nasalo was good in that fourth quarter, finished up with 13. Bernard had 20, Mitchell with 10, and Wright with 5. Unfortunately, exited the game early, but he looked good in his minutes as well from us. So, yeah, great win for the Caps. They'll obviously keep on building, and Rocky's just got to make some corrections, but equally knowing that they missed one of their main guys. So, you know, I don't think I'd want to be playing Rocky in the early playoff matchup.
I don't think so either. Just want to remind everyone, next week's QBL Game of the Week sees the Gold Coast Rollers and Coach Michael Van Dongen taking on the Ipswich Force down at Ipswich on Saturday.
He'll be taking them out. He'll be taking them out.
The women's game at 5 p.m., followed by the men at 7 p.m. Don't forget to tune in live on the Best Ball Queensland YouTube channel. That's going to wrap things up for us here. I got to thank Gold Coast Rollers women's head coach Michael Van Dongen for stepping into the commentary tonight. My co-commentators Dave Derwin and Regan Baker, on the camera Chris Sieber, and James Bowman from the Australia Sports Network for all his support with the graphics and technical support. Thanks everyone again for tuning in to another presentation of the QBL Game of the Week by Nothing But Net Media. We'll see you next week.